Hey guys, welcome to the book club for week 4. Okay, I looked through your check-ins and everything looks good. I was gonna say um, that yeah, I think we're largely unsure what our chapters are going to look like, and that's okay. That's okay. I thought Nikki had a really good idea for the potential of where what the structure might look like. So I guess what I'm thinking right now is let's continue. So the theta work should feel pretty light this week because you're just kind of revising a little more on what you had done the previous week, right? So it's not from scratch anymore. So given that, I think this week, why don't we do just like a complete literature haul? And what I mean by that is like, you know, maybe okay, so let's fill our Google Drive, right? Let's fill the folders, let's create new folders if we need to. So um let's just kind of bring more into it so we can start kind of looking for the pattern, right? So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to share a screen real quick. Okay, so here's our book folder. And the reality is, and I think this kind of leans into what I think a couple of you were saying is that I'm not sure this is the right chapter structure. And one of the reasons for that, and as we also, when you watch Melissa's presentation this week, super, super relevant to our project. Okay. So when we think of this book, we don't, from the one hand, we don't have to think of like traditional chapters. We don't, a chapter might end up being 2 pages in this book. And I can say that because I've looked at other books in this series, and some of the chapters are long and then they'll have a really short chapter. So we can also think of it like maybe it's got, 15 chapters and they're all very short, or some are long and some are short. So I don't want us to feel constrained to like a traditional sense of chapter because we might just have to operate outside that. And I've seen other books do that. So when you watch Melissa's presentation, obviously it's clear that I think we're going to have some information on some neurodiverse forms more than others, right? Like autism and ADHD, I think are going to be heavily represented in the literature, and then maybe some of the other ones not so much. So if with that said, some of the forms like um, I'm sorry, it's so late here. I can't even think. Not dyscalculia, but dyslexia. There we go. That's one of the words. Dyslexia, when it comes to dyslexia, right? We're talking about strictly kind of being in that reading and that writing area, but we're probably not going to be talking about speaking and listening. And that's one of the things Melissa was talking about. I might have cut that out of the Q&A at the end, so I don't know if you saw it. But so I'm getting long-winded. Basically, we need more information, right? So what I want to do this week is continue to crawl Google Scholar, A&M Commerce, or East Texas A&M University Library, look for articles that are on this topic, right? And let's continue to just pile stuff in here. Now, one of the things I had set up for you, which no one used, and that's okay, maybe I wasn't clear on it, is this lit review summary. So what I was hoping you would do is you would find an article like this one, right? And it's not a traditional article. Let me go to something else. Here's a traditional that article was fine. It just wasn't quickly accessible for the demonstration I wanted. What I'd like you to do is with the articles you have in here, please fill out this form. And this helps us know that we're not duplicating articles. Actually, I have an idea. Here we go. Okay. So what I want you to do is go back to the articles you have added, put put your name that you added it, the year it was published, just the first author's last name, the name of the article, and just main themes. So when I say main themes, we're not doing an annotated bib right now. We're looking for main themes. Let me go back to the article, this one. Um, Culturally relevant pedagogy, neurodiversity. Um, da, da, da. Okay, so CRP, that's a theme. There we go. And maybe I'm going to glance through it real quick. I'm not reading, right? So we're going to be strategic with our time. I'm not really reading yet. I'm going to go down to the conclusion. What do we know? Okay, so it seems like maybe this paper is going to focus heavily on autism, dyslexia, and ADHD. I like that. Okay, I don't know why I wouldn't like that. I just noticed it, right? We got something on universal design. I'm going to spend like 2 minutes with this article, just to be able to come back over here and say themes are CRP, autism, dyslexia, universal design, right? Just think of it like hashtags. If you had to hashtag that article with like the 8 most important or 6 to 8 most important buzzwords in it, what would you do? And then I'm going to take out the summary because that would imply you're reading it. And then just say what folder. I put this in speaking, right? That's where I put it. But that way, if we're looking for it, we know where it is. So yeah, so we're going to take the articles you added last week. You're going to add them over here. Again, glance for the themes. It shouldn't be too hard, especially if there's an abstract and a conclusion section. I'm not saying you need to read the whole thing. It's just what is the largest main topics this is talking about. Obviously, a theme is going to be neurodiversity. You don't have to put that. What I'm thinking we're also doing with this main theme section is looking at the neurodiverse forms that are being discussed. It seems like when I look in Google Scholar, it is so late. I'm sorry. When I look in Google Scholar and I'm doing some of the research, it looks like kind of neurodiversity is just discussed as one item with mentions of examples of the forms as well. So we might not see anything specific on some of the forms because it's just neurodiversity as a whole. That's going to be important because that's going to shape our book, right? So yes, take the articles you put in last week, spell them out here on this lit review summary form, and continue to add some more. Again, you don't need to get too deep into the reading because we're going to look we'll go back to that stage at some point. I think this is the next logical step because I want to get a good view of what these themes are, because I think from that we're going to get another solid direction. Now, Nikki, you've got some experience in like CRP and that background there. So I might need to rely on you for some of those directions too. But you guys we're all bringing in different linguistic expertise, right? Mine's grammar, pragmatics, like more of the linguistic domains, you could call them, right? So yeah, Nikki, you had a lot of good ideas. So go back and look at Nikki's posts too. Be sure to read each other's check-ins. You all actually made some really valid points. Okay, I'm being long-winded. I don't want to be long-winded. I'm going to stop sharing. So this week, add more articles, fill out the literature review summary, keep it simple. Again, we're not doing anything too thick right now. We're just building basically a database. We're building our database. And I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you have questions. Let's give it another week and see where we're at. Talk to you soon.